Hello, my name is Lucy Davis. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, as you can see from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about false light. Now, yes, this is probably going to be a little bit of an interesting live. However, it needs to be spoken about. I've been talking about this subject a lot on my Instagram lives. I've been talking about it a lot to my friends, my clients, things like that. Because if you cannot feel and you cannot see the false light that's hitting the planet right now, I don't know where you are. I don't know what's happening with you. So, all we even need to look at is the skies at the moment, and we can see the amount of pressure that we're under. We can see very, very clearly the level of manipulation. So before I step into that, there's a couple of things that I would like to share with you. Next week is our launch call for Self-Love Mastery. This is the second time we're going into this program. If you are finding your ego piping up, your procrastination is kicking in, maybe you're really battling with yourself at the moment, Self-Love Mastery is an 8-week program whereby myself and my coaches take you through content to really recognize how your trauma is impacting you. You might be there going, but I don't have any trauma. I'm going to call a big fat BS on that. We all have trauma. We just don't recognize that it is actually manipulating us and holding us back. So if you want to be involved in that call, there is a link just below this in the description, and you will be able to join the launch call and see if it's appropriate for you. I'm not saying it's going to be appropriate for everybody, but if you want to be a little bit nosy and see what it's about, there is a call with yours truly next week to introduce that. Also, I would like to let you know that I am speaking on an event on the 8th of May in the Midlands, UK, and it's going to be Charlie Ward's event, and I've been asked to be one of the speakers there. So I am also going to link the tickets below here. Now, if you are not a fan of Charlie's, please just scroll on past this bit. We don't need to be bringing in any more lower vibration or anything like that. However, I did just want to raise the fact that I'm going to be there. I'm obviously going to be talking about heaven on earth, high levels of consciousness, things like that, because that's what I do. And also maybe, who knows, maybe I might even do an intervention on somebody if I get the opportunity to do so. So if you are up for coming to watch, coming to speak, maybe even having a catch up, having a hug and a photo with me, then please do. I will see you on the 8th of May. Super excited to do that. Anyway, let's get back to talking about false light. So what do I mean by false light? First and foremost, what I mean, and the way that I've been explaining it to people a lot recently, is there is a lot of noise taking place, and there are a lot of people coming to the surface that are pretending to be of good intent, but actually the undercurrent of them is whether they are being manipulated, i.e. there's things that are, manipulating them to do certain things and say certain things, or they are of a lower vibration and they've taught themselves how to do things in a higher vibration so that they can get the following and, the support and things like that. Ladies and gents, I've been talking about it for over 2 years. Discernment is vital right now. Absolutely vital. And I do not feel that we are using it enough. Because somebody might be good looking, or maybe somebody has a big following, or maybe they give 80% of the truth and, some inspirational things, we must be looking much deeper than this right now. We cannot have a go at, the governments and things like that, and yet we aren't prepared to go deeper on the normal, average, everyday people, and I call them normal, average, everyday people. They're not. They're creating big followings, things like that. Just because someone has been in the limelight for a very long time doesn't mean that they are of good intent. It's very important that we start to recognize this. Now, I'm not going to name and shame people because I don't know, I've got my own perspective on this situation, but I don't know. I don't have all of the answers, but it's a subject that we must be recognizing. If anything in your body is saying this doesn't sit right with me, then this is what you need to be listening to. Now, I'm not saying if somebody triggers the fuck out of you and you have a reaction and your ego kicks in, that means that they're not of the light. That's not the case. Okay, that means that you are being triggered to ascend. You have a choice whether you go on your healing journey or not. So let's just make sure that we are very aware of that, because there's a lot of people being triggered right now and they're like, oh, that person's really bad, I'm going to step away from them, and it's their own shit. It's their own ego. It's the, essentially they are being manipulated by the darkness to hold them back. Whereas the person that's triggering the heck out of them is actually sees something in them and actually wants to help them ascend to go up to the high levels of consciousness. But again, it's very much free will at the moment. Okay, we have to recognize it is all our choice. If you sit there and go, why have I had such a shitty life? Why am I in this position? It's your own choice. You got here based on the choices that you have made. And again, I know that I really upset people by saying these words, but it is the truth. It's the truth. So false light is shining very, very brightly right now. And actually, there's a lot of people that are starting to see through it. There are a lot of people that message me on a day-to-day basis saying, Lucy, what's your opinion on this person? Because I'm seeing a different side to the one that I used to see, like even just a month ago. Just so you know, I don't ever give opinions on things like that. I just coach people how to deal with it, rather than give my opinions, because my opinions are completely invalid. You're allowed your own opinion. You can have a different opinion to me. Yeah, whatever. But I will just remind you how to use your discernment for you. So just bear that in mind, okay? We're not all the same. We're not all seeing the same things. It would be very boring if we were. However, like I say, there are a lot of these false prophets and these people that have, made a false position for themselves right now. I actually watched Bad Vegan. I don't watch anything like that, normally, but I was with a friend at the weekend and he was like, come on, let's watch this. So we watched it, and actually it's very, very interesting, some of the messages that come through that program. If you haven't watched it, go and give it a little watch. And it kind of like shines the light on false light, first and foremost. It's not I'm going to manage your expectations. It's not a very gripping program, and it's not particularly interesting. But when you look at things the way that I look at things, like I never go and watch a movie, I dissect it completely. And it was the same with this. So I saw the undercurrents, I saw the messages that were behind it, and what was going on. So if you are somebody like myself, go and watch that. You might get some insights into what I am talking about. Anyway, I digress as always. So false prophets, false lights, like I say, this is people putting themselves in a much higher elevated position. Now, anybody who is of the light, anybody who is, really, really cares about humanity, doesn't need to be telling people that they need to be a leader, or it just doesn't exist. We don't need that. We don't need people recognize that they don't need to be on a pedestal. Some of the most incredible people that are doing the biggest change on the planet right now are people that you've never even heard of. And this is what's very important. We do not need to be carving out a situation for ourselves where we're like, woo, I'm over here. I'm going to be your leader. I'm going to be this. No, it's down to us to use our discernment. Do we actually want to be around that person? Do we trust that person? Not, are they making good noises? Another really good, important thing to look at when you're looking at the light of people is actually look at whether their talk is matching their walk. So a lot of people are saying certain things, but are they actually doing it? Are they actually showing up? Are they actually seeing things through? And I know it's like, I'm an ideas person, so I really get it, right? I come out with all these different ideas, and then you have to like whittle down priorities and things like that. But if, be mindful of people who are taking money off of you right now. We know that there's this massive thread of greed that's going to come after the desperation. So we're in a period of desperation right now. We're then going to go into a period of time where we recognize greed in people. Okay, so we're recognizing desperation right now, and my goodness, it's been very prevalent over the last few weeks. And then we're going to step into a few weeks of actually being able to see the greed in people. So if people are taking money from you, or people are, and I'm not saying paying for a service, I mean, you're making donations, or you're contributing to a thing, whatever that thing may be, and nothing's happening with that thing, like alarm bells should be ringing in you by now. Alarm bells should be ringing. We can't keep saying, oh, you know, we just got to wait a little bit longer. No, like, you know, I know firsthand, there are certain things. Let's look at the healing centers, for example. You guys know I've been banging on about them since 2018 when I channeled them. I physically do not have the abundance to create them right now. However, I'm doing everything I possibly can to create it. I'm running healing days where every single penny of it goes into the pot to be able to start it. I'm working with really incredible people around the world to potentially get funding sooner than the abundance coming in. Like, that's what I'm talking about. And admittedly, I'm not outward about the things that I'm doing. However, you know, so I'm not expecting other people to be. However, let's just look at what people are saying they're going to do, and let's start asking for an update. If somebody says that they're going to do something, well, what's happening with this? You know, or have you gone to the next bright shiny object now? Like, it's very important that we start having these conversations. We need to be using our initiative. We need to be asking questions. We need to be speaking our truth. We need to be standing in our truth. I don't believe, you know, in the world that I look at, in the world that I envisage, in the world that I'm choosing to go to, I don't believe we're going to need leaders. We're going to have people who can come together and make decisions as a group, as a collective, as a community. That's the way I see things going. You know, I would like to look at alternatives for some of the things that are happening around the world right now. I have to be very careful with the language, and please be careful with the language when you are typing below. You know, there are certain things that have gone skyrocketing in price recently. And, you know, I would like to look at the alternatives. Now, I'm an ideas person. Like I say, I don't know how the semantics work of fuel and electricity and energy and stuff like that. So please don't ask me to come up with a solution to it. But I can come up with the idea of, actually, we need to start looking at something different. Like, how can we make this work? What can we do to make sure that we're okay? And this is what's very, very important. What are we doing? Who do we need to get together, like their brains together, so that they can come up with a solution for us? That's what I'm talking about. You know, I don't want to be a leader. I don't necessarily need to be a leader. I'd like a peaceful life. I'd really like a peaceful life. And that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing, because I know that peace comes after the upset, after the flipping things on its head and creating chaos, for want of better words. We must ensure that we are aware that there is false light on the planet. Some of your favorite people will be of false light. We must be aware that it happens. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not just the politicians and the governments and people like that have this, you know, that we can see that they're false light, or we can see that they've been leading people astray. No, they are walking in between us. They're friends, they're people that we follow. People are being manipulated massively right now. And it's down to us to be able to see through it with our laser focus. We cannot keep pretending. We cannot keep just following, you know, people blindly, which is what we've done, which is how we got in this mess. Just because we start blindly following other people because apparently they're, you know, of decent, you know, whatever, and they've done well through the truth movement or whatever, that doesn't mean that they are the ones to lead going forwards. We're essentially saying, hey, let's stay in the same paradigm as we are, but we're just going to switch out that leader and put this leader in place. Like, that's not what we want to be doing here, or certainly not the way that I see my life going. Ladies and gents, I encourage you. Find people that, yes, make you feel good when they speak, but find people who are actually doing stuff. Find people who you can rely on. Find people who will be honest with you. Find people who will tell you the way that things are. It's very important. There are a lot of people out there that will put other people down to make themselves feel better and for themselves to look better. It's down to us to discern whether that is the reality or not. And like I say, this video is not about people per se. It's about the energy on the planet right now. They're panicking. The darkness are panicking. They are infiltrating. They are manipulating lots of souls. The souls don't know. I truly believe that the human, they don't realize what they're doing. I genuinely believe that. All you need to do is look into the sky at all of the chemtrails and see how, how much they're panicking. I posted some pictures on my social media in the last few days, and there's lines everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And I've got people from New Zealand, people from America messaging me going, oh my God, like it's so bad where you are. Yes, because it's their last ditch attempt at the manipulation. It's their last ditch attempt at holding us down and suppressing us and really, really keeping us low vibration. They're poisoning us through our water, through the skies, through, our food chain. We must recognize that this energy, this dark energy, is not just there, it's infiltrating through people that have allowed it to take place. I would give certain scenarios of how the darkness can infiltrate a beautiful soul, but I don't kind of want to finger point and people, so maybe that's for another day. I'll tap into that a little bit more. But there are many different ways that you can allow the darkness to infiltrate you. So just, when you're having a moment of your ego piping up, ask yourself, is this of the light? Is this for the greatest good of humanity? That's what I do all the time. Is this for the greatest good of humanity? And I get an answer very, very quickly. This isn't about Lucy. This isn't about the Lucy filter or whoever my soul has been in a past life. It's not about that. That is false prophet, that is false lies. We don't need any of that. We need to stand in our truth. We need to own who we are. We need to, it's irrelevant who we channel and who we are and, what our essence is and stuff like that. It's just irrelevant. We must start stepping up. We must start stepping in, and we really must start recognizing where people are holding us back by pedestals, by labels. It's old paradigm. And on one hand, you want the old paradigm to collapse, but then on the other hand, you're so stuck in that paradigm with the labels and, like I say, the pedestals. We can't just collapse part of the world. We need to collapse it all. It needs to be started again. I don't know how you guys feel on that, but from my perspective, it's got to be started again. We've really royally messed this up through lifetimes and lifetimes of bad choices, and the bright, shiny objects. Doesn't need to be like that. We are far greater than we ever know. And we're going to learn that. We're going to get to see that a lot more. We are incredible. We are so powerful. And I know the light has won. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have agreed to come down to this. If we thought the world was going to end or any of these other things that people are piping up about and suggesting, why on earth would we have come down here? We wouldn't. We would have gone, no, screw that. Like, we're not going to be there when it blows up or whatever. We wouldn't do that. We know the end result is the light wins. So now it's our responsibility to recognize the souls that have been manipulated and start stepping away from them. Because every bit of energy you give to these people, every penny that you give to these people, they are slowing us down and holding us back. I know it's a minefield right now. I know it's so challenging. Honestly, I have been shown a lot of this through 2022 and the end of 2021. Trust me. It's not nice to see, especially when people, you care about these people. However, what we've got to do now is it's not about that. It's about us recognizing that we're here on a mission, on a project. We're here to change the world, and we've got to do whatever it takes to get us there. I feel there is so much misinformation going out there at the moment. There's so many people that are projecting their beliefs and their religions and their theories and whatever on people. And we need to be recognizing, like, does this actually feel right? Does it actually feel right? I don't know what the answer is, by the way, ladies and gents. I'm not professing that I've got the answers. I haven't. It's just subjects we need to be talking about. We need to be vulnerable about this stuff. We need to be saying, right, hang on, I'm seeing things in people that, are really quite interesting right now. So the first thing I do when I notice this in people is, I go, right, what are they mirroring to me? That's the first step that I take. I don't think, oh God, look at them fallen ones. I'm like, right, am I being manipulated? Am I being shown this so that my soul gets that I'm being manipulated? And I do the work on myself first. It's very important, because everything is a mirror. This whole world, like, it's an illusion. It's a mirror. It's literally just, we're being shown everything. So the fact that I'm speaking this today, some of you need to know that you're being manipulated. Some of you will be like, oh shit, yeah, Lucy's seeing and talking about the things that I've been seeing and hearing and getting vibrations about. So whichever resonates with you, it's just the mirror. That's why you've come to this video. That's why you're watching. We must start to step up. We must start to recognize, we must start to really honor who and how we feel, you know, because we're all different. We've all got different roles. There are people out there that are going to be staying in a lower vibration as a leader. There are other people that are going to be ascending into a world where there is no leaders. Like, this is what we've got to recognize, is that there is a role for everybody. However, just be very, very aware of where you want to get to as to who you are following, because the manipulation is real right now, ladies and gents. It is real. So, ladies and gents, I am going to start my newsletter again. I stopped it some time back because it was just too much overhead for me. However, I'm going to start doing my newsletter again. So if you would like to keep in touch with me and hear the latest about my courses and what I'm up to, and so, you know, opportunities to hear some of the information that I can't possibly say on platforms like this, please do click the link below for my weekly woo, as it is called, and that will be coming into your inbox imminently. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know, are you seeing false light? Are you being shown things right now? Have you had to ask yourself, oh my goodness, am I being manipulated? I'd love to hear from you all below. If this video doesn't resonate with you, please scroll on by. We don't need to be, you know, we don't need to be bringing any more nastiness into the world. It's a heavy enough place right now. I'm sending you all my love. I'm sending you all so much healing and health. I'm also going to send you beautiful Easter wishes for those of you that celebrate that. And I will be popping a video out very, very soon around the full moon energies. Because if we haven't got enough going on our plate right now, we have a full moon coming. And oh my gosh, is it another powerhouse of a moon? Ladies and gents, I will see you in the next video. I'm going to link back to the April energy because it's very important that you keep on top of that. Catch you guys super soon. Lots of love.